Hello everyone, you're welcome on Just Event Online TV. I'm Abdul Rizal once again on your program, Issues and Reality. Today, I have with me Mr. Olamide Adetimehin, the General Manager of Navigo, what would I call that? Transportation.
E-hailing.
I'm not good with tech. The only thing I know is fintech. I'm not a tech person that much. It's not as if I don't want to. Maybe I'll come to your school, you teach me some things. But I think they are into things like transportation. I think there's a way you liberalize transportation. When I was in University of Illinois, I want to tell you a story. There was OPay, and at that point, when you want to go to anywhere in Illinois, you pay 15 to take you anywhere. At some point, they switched to Keke. At some point, they switched to Carbot. By the time I went for my service here, before I came back, Opay had packed up. I mean, in the regard of, and then they have moved to fintech. But what we're used to in the lorry is both. We hear a lot about Uber, InDrive, and other things. But when I came across your app, I just, it's a sweet remembrance, reminder of what I used to have during the OPay. At the comfort of your room, you order a ride, the ride comes in and it takes you where you want to go. So let's start like this. Why transportation? Because what everybody wants to go into is either you go to crypto, you go to fintech, you go, but why this? Why not others?
I think in Nigeria now, I think Nigeria is part of the most populous country in West Africa. So the major thing we have now is
I
transportation.
think Nigeria is the most populous in West Africa, not one of the most populous.
Okay.
We are the most populous in Africa.
Okay. So we're thinking that most of the issue we have is transportation, taking people from one end to another end, point B to point C, point A to point C. So we're not talking about something like, okay, if you can be at the comfort of your home and can still go to a destination, not the hassle of trying to get someone on the road or trying to get a driver, trying to call a driver, but you can get a driver assigned to you just through your mobile app. So we develop an app in which you can get a driver just at the comfort of your own and get the luxury comfort of a ride to any destination you want to go to.
You see, my question is this. Now, we are not, in a lorry, I don't think, we're not alien to this kind of app.
Yeah.
But you might want to tell us the unique thing that is attached to Navigo that make people choose Navigo ahead of others.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Navigo is a very, very good e-hailing app in which people can book your driver at your choice, in which you can negotiate your price. No matter the destination, no matter where you're going to, you can negotiate the price, and which also the driver also can give you his own price, not just a statement, just not the recommended price, just there, and driver say, okay, I'll just accept it like that. But in our own app, in which you can also give your price to, okay, you want to go to a particular point, or you want to go to challenge, you want to go to post office, but you have this particular amount with you can go to our app and say, okay, I have this particular amount with you, and if a driver accepts the ride, then fine. The driver can also say, okay, I can't go to this particular destination, can you just increase the price for me? The driver will give his own price, and which, if the user or the rider accepts, it's okay, and they go to,
What if is the rider that says, okay, this amount is too much for for my destination? Can the rider also ask for, I mean, a lower price?
yes, the driver, if the driver, you first book the ride which with your own price, and if the driver says the price is low and the driver gives his own proposal, his own price, then the rider does not agree with the price, the rider can decline the
Okay.
ride, then book another ride also.
But one thing the boat drivers that I used to know, or the Uber driver, one thing they will tell you that if you cancel their orders, they say that it's affecting their rating. If you say you can cancel, would it not have effect on either the rider or the driver?
So what makes our app so good is that we don't penalize drivers on the council or riders, because it's a negotiation app. You negotiate, you don't penalize. If you're okay with the deal, you're okay with the ride, you go ahead with it. We don't penalize, because and also our ride, we have multiple riders that give you different prices. So you choose the price that you want.
Okay, if I'm going to a certain location, if I can see up to five drivers ready,
Yeah.
I would just choose the one and that is better for me. But what about safety nets? You know, when we talk about security, I think in Nigeria today, the most important thing to everybody, everywhere in the world, but in Nigeria, it is we feel less safe in our own country today. How do you what do you do in regard to security? How do you secure your passenger and your driver too?
Okay, thank you. In our app, that what also makes our app good, we have a feature that says, okay, there's an emergency button in which you have a problem, you can easily press, and which contacts your loved ones, or and contacts the company, and which the company contacts the security agencies around you, and you monitor each ride of each person.
Like you're talking about security in what radius? You know, some people will say 30 meters radius, 50 meters radius.
Yes,
In what radius?
at that particular radius of the ride, the radius at that particular radius of the ride in which you can get any security agencies are there. We contact the security agency to see to locate the particular ride because we trace all our rides. We know our destination, we know the drivers, where drivers are going, we know the drivers info, we verify our drivers and also verify our users too. So that is why we have a very, very good security measures for just to tackle insecurity.
But on the other end, I've seen I live in Ilori and I've seen this app in Ilori. I've not seen the first time. That's the first time. It's Navigo only in Ilori.
No, we have an headquarters in Anambra State. We started in Anambra State, which we now moved to the west. And the first west in the state we went to was Ilorin, and that's where we are putting Ilorin right now.
First,
In
to
the-
make a correction,
Okay.
Ilori is not west.
Okay,
Ilori is north.
okay,
I think you agree, and then if you checked the Nigerian map, that's what it says. As much as people would like to categorize the lorry as the West, the Nigerian socio-geographic system still categorize the lorry as not whatever that is. But what I want to say is that Lorry people are very jealous people. I'm one of them, and we are very jealous people. We want to say, okay, now you have your headquarters in Anambra. Practically, you have your second branch in the lorry. But when the app finally comes alive, many people will start running to Abuja, Lagos, and Port Harcourt to build a bigger headquarters. Some people will say that we had that experience with a very popular restaurant, or we will say fast food outlets that ate our money, and when it's time to open an headquarters, runs to Lagos. Wouldn't you do that for us when you finally penetrate everywhere you be? Then you be the one being picking and choosing to say, okay, this is where I want to take my headquarters.
No, since our company has already established headquarters, we don't need to have an headquarters in other places. We just only have branches. We can have branches in other states, which we are expanding to. So we can't move an headquarters to just a region because of the propriety, the people or the rights we are getting there. No, we only just focus. We only just have only one headquarters, and that is where the app started from, and that is Anambra State.
Okay, another angle to this thing is that even if you have an app,
Yes.
no matter how good the app is, there are people that will operate it. How has your experience been introducing it to the rider and the driver? How has your experience been? Has it been encouraging or discouraging?
Yeah, it has been encouraging a lot. It has been encouraging since we started in Ilorin right now. It has been encouraging because the drivers, especially the drivers, they had this kind of scenario before in which they could order rides, they could get rides from external body, not just from within their own vicinity. They can get rides from other people from other areas in which they can earn more money. Because right now, how Nigeria is now, more drivers are looking for how to get more money. That is when they saw the app, was like, wow, this is a great initiative which they've had an experience before and it worked for them. So it's like they were all in to get into the app and just to make use of the app. Then in terms of riders now, riders are feeling okay, if I can comfortability, I can get to any destination within Ilorin at the comfort of my home. I can get to anywhere within the comfort of. So the riders were like, okay, if I can negotiate my price, not at the high side, I can negotiate my price and the driver can still accept my price. Fine, why not go on the app and book a ride?
But another angle to the issue of the people that uses the app is how do we give feedback? You said you don't penalize people for cancelled rides, but I think when you see apps like this, when people get rating, do you rate people too?
Yes, we rate people, we rate the drivers, and we also rate the users.
Okay,
riders.
so if I get as a user, if I get a very high rating, that means my own rider will, I mean, my own order will be faster than others, or what do I get stand to
No,
benefit?
you stand to rate because you know the user's experience. You use the rating to know the users, and also the driver can also rate the users. If the users is more violent or more this thing, you also know feedback. There's a
Okay.
box in which you input the message or you input what you experience from the rider or from the driver.
Okay, another angle to this is that I think Uber does only car,
Yeah.
but you do keke and car.
Yes.
Why keke? Some people will say that keke is for low class people. Now, why will you give me keke?
We looked at Keke as the most convenient thing that can go anywhere. Keke is the most used transportation, means of transportation in let me just use in Nigeria right now. Keke is almost everywhere. So you can access Keke at any point in time. So now we're not thinking that okay, if Keke is most used in the country and most used in this state, why can't you just also give the drivers leverage or give them opportunity for them to also get users outside their range, not always just in that their vicinity, outside there is, and Keke can get to anywhere around the state.
Okay, another angle to this is if I mean, have you worked? How many parks? We have different parks in the Lorry. How many parks have you walked up to? And when you walk up to them, what has been? I mean, the reception. What kind of reception do you get?
Okay, when getting to a park, we first go to the chairman
Okay.
of the park and say, okay, this is an initiative that is new in Ilorin, and we want your drivers to come in on board and see the benefits and see how to use it. And then, so the park, the chairmans of the park, they'll be so happy for them, for their riders, for their drivers to come on board because most of them, they let's say most of them they need more money to take care of their families, take care of it. So it's a revenue for them to see extra income, let's say extra or extra also for them to get more money. So the chairman will always recommend us to go to every park in Ilorin. We are going to almost let me say 10 parks in Ilorin right now. So we and when getting them, they always embrace us with a good one because of they're gaining from it. They see the benefit from it because they don't want the hassle to look for people up and down to get the small hassle. And if they can get one passenger at a particular rate and they give their own price, since fuel is not stable and they give their own price, they are fine with it.
But okay, let's talk about where this thing actually began from. That is Anambra State. How
Yeah.
was the experience in Anambra? Like, because once for you to come to Ilorin and say that, okay, what's happening in Anambra is not dead, we are continuing that, but we want to do something in Ilorin too. In Anambra State, how was the experience like? How would you compare the experience from there and here? Which one, how would you rate the two?
Okay, in Anambra State, the difference is a lot different because in Anambra State, there's not an initiative like this in Anambra State. That's why we now started it up in Anambra State. They were new to something like this, but Ilorin is still different because they've had a feeling of this before. So they were so happy to get. So in Anambra State was so different. So we had to orientate them, tell them, okay, this is your benefit, this is how you're going to do it. This will take you from point A, from your house to your destination with ease and comfortability. So it was a kind of a little bit hard for us to get into, but later people got used to it and they were started using it. So and in Ilorin State, it was easy to penetrate those drivers because, for example, they were so happy to see an initiative which they've used before. They can also get a benefit from it again. And the riders also to this, if I can leave my house, if I can stay in my house and get a ride to any destination, they're so happy to get a kind of initiative, a kind of app present in Ilorin because most people, most apps, they go to other big states and do something like this. But for this app to come to our own region and also come to our own state, they were so there was the rather through our feedback, they were so happy to get something like this to them.
Okay, what are you practically saying that in Ilorin we made your job easier than it was in Anambra?
Yes, because the job in Ilorin was more because they had a app like this.
They've had the experience before.
Yes.
I think it's a very good place to leave it. That is a very good initiative. Am I a customer already?
Yes, you're a customer already.
Okay, thank you very much. That was Mr. Olamide Olatime, the general manager of Navigo. What do I call it again?
Navigo EN Limited.
Navigo EN Limited. I'm a tech person. I'm very sorry about that. The only thing I know is fintech. I only hear about it. I'm not into fintech. Also, people will not start bringing money to my house to say that. So now, I think that's a very good place to do. Thank you very much for obliging of out of your very tight schedule. We really do appreciate this opportunity. Thank you very much, our viewers. I remember myself once again, Abdul Qadri Isaac. Do have a lovely day.